From a video I made 3 weeks ago. As you can see, I gave you an outlook on Ethereum. I'm gonna just replay it right quick, just so you know what I was thinking at the time. So I made this video 3 weeks ago, right? But my point is, this shit is in the charts. You could see this shit and predict this shit. Will you be accurate 100% of the time? No. But if you know how to read divergences and pay attention to RSI, it'll always give you indications of where the market's potentially headed. So when I called that, I made that call because I saw the RSI was a bearish divergence on a daily time frame. Now maybe if we saw that bearish divergence on an hourly time frame, 2 hour, 3 hour, but when you see a high time frame like the daily time frame and a strong bearish divergence, more often than not, you'll see a major correction. And think about it, we hadn't seen that in the past couple years. We had only seen that one, right here, one, two, and two times. So this was the third time we were seeing that. So more often than not, we were going to get a major correction coming back into the zone where I called 3,800. You can see we had about 22% correction right now. And like I said, I still think we're coming around to 3,800, potentially not to maybe even 3,400. So I would be looking at this level next, maybe somewhere in here where we took out from. And I wouldn't be looking to buy again until what you saw make some kind of divergence, bullish divergence, right? When you see price doing something like this, you would see price making what? Something like this. Maybe we come here, maybe we come here, boom, 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 right? And then what would you expect on the RSI? You would expect the RSI to come here, boom, 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 boom. You would expect the RSI to be making what? Bullish divergence, which means you would see RSI doing something like this, right? Making higher lows on the RSI, and you would still see Ethereum making what? Lower lows. Maybe we come down to 3,400. Maybe we don't. Maybe we pick up something, some kind of divergence here at 3,800, or we could become lower to 3,400. And then next, you could have also came to the VIX, and what do we see on the VIX? Simultaneously, when we saw bearish divergence on BTC, which was here, right, on a 4 hour, which is still a nice time frame. Maybe we even saw it on the what? It was still here on the 6 hour. Let's see if we saw it on the 8 hour. Not so much, but 6 hour, it was still clean on the 6 hour, right? So what we see on the 6 hour? We saw divergence here on the 6 hour. Let me point it out to you. We saw a divergence here, right? Look at this, right? Bearish divergence. Look at the RSI. Lower lows, BTC making what? Higher highs. Okay, where can we confirm this BTC? Because this is just one confluence. We're coming into resistance. 117,000 psychological level. We're coming into resistance. RSI divergence. Even the volume, we see a decrease in the volume going down as we go higher. Okay, and then we can make confirmations where we could go to the VIX next. Let's check the VIX. So this was what? Thursday, September the 18th. Let's go to the VIX. What we see on the VIX? Thursday, September the 18th. Okay, Thursday, September the 18th, what we see? The VIX is in support, right? So if the VIX is in support, it's inversely correlated with the BTC. VIX is just a volatility index. So if the VIX is at support and it goes up, well, guess what happens to BTC? It goes down. So that would have been another confirmation. Then we could have came to USDT dominance chart. Okay, what's USDT dominance chart look like? Okay, well, Thursday, September the 18th was here, right? So let's see what we were saying here. Okay, we see anything on that daily time frame? No. Let's go to the 12-hour. We see any bullish divergence here? Yeah. What do we see? Here? Here. Right? Price is 4.20, right? We came here. Price is still at 4.20. And look, we made a what? Higher low on the RSI, and price is still here. So what's that's telling us? Momentum is picking up. This point is stronger than it is at this point. And that's on the 12 hours. So the 12 hours is pretty fucking accurate. And then obviously, even if you go down further, the further you go down, the more clean it is. You see the divergence even more the further time frame you go down. And you can just see how clean it was. This divergence down here. See, I mean, this shit's in the charts. When you learn how to read charts, nonetheless, this is a triple bottom. Look, 1, 2, 3. Or you could call this pattern right here a double bottom. 1, 2, right? Double bottom. And when you see double bottoms, they're pretty fucking accurate. Really call this a triple bottom if you want to, though. So I'm saying all this to say, the shit was in the charts. If you know how to read charts, and you always want to make correlations, not just on one time frame, but also on other pairs. Like, for example, BTC, USDT dominance, the VIX, right? That's the main chart you want to be looking at. That's why I was able to call this 3 weeks ago. Now, these things take time to play out. You know, sometimes it might play out in 2 weeks. Sometimes it might play out in 1 week. Sometimes it might take a month to play out. But when you see bearish divergences on a daily time frame, or even bullish divergences on a daily time frame, I'll show you an example of a bullish divergence. You come to BTC on a daily time frame. Look at this bullet. What is this shit? Look at this bullish divergence we saw on BTC right here that marked the lows out, right? So we saw a price made a low, took out this low, made a lower low, took out this low, made a lower low. Look at the RSI though. Bullish divergence on the RSI on a daily time frame. When you see that setup, man, this shit it's accurate, highly accurate. Right all the time? Nothing's right all the time, but highly accurate. And then also you could have marked out this low with what? The VIX. So this was April. Let's go to April 8th on the VIX. Volatility index. You come to April the 8th on the volatility index. April. Oh. Where we at? April the 8th. So look at this. April the 8th. VIX was above what? Way above 50. Guys, when you see the VIX above 50, this is more often than not marks the lows for BTC. So we go back, we saw August the 5th, VIX above 50. Let's go to BTC, August the 5th. And I remember this, I was in Miami. Um, I was actually on my computer when this happened, and I took I think it was on Tau. Look, August the 5th, bottomed, market bottomed, boom, 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 take off, right? Last time the VIX was above 50. COVID, right? Let's go to what was this, March 20th. Let's go to BTC, March 20th. All right, look, March 20th. What was the VIX? Wait, what's this? Yeah, March 20th. BTC, become March 20th. Okay, look, right around here. March 20th, right here. Bottom. So that's the bottom on BTC. So always pay attention to the VIX. Because when the VIX gets above 50, you got more often than not, it's a bottom, right? So pay attention to the VIX. Don't fade the VIX. People are not looking at the VIX. They're not looking at USDT dominance. They're not using all of these different charts to make a high probability, educated prediction on where the market's headed next. So just make sure you pay attention to all these different things. Make sure you always have cash stacked up for when the VIX is at these levels. Because usually when the VIX comes to these levels, you want to put in, whatever you can at these levels, because these are usually the bottoms. But yeah, wait for bullish divergence on Ethereum. Maybe we come down to 3,400. But other than that, I think the next, what's today? September 26th. I'll be looking to take any altcoin positions beginning of October. Last October, right here, we saw the start of a run last October, right? And we went up for the next few months, I believe until like December. What was this? 68 days, we went straight up, basically. Had a few corrections, but small, and even the last October before that, same thing. So we know the seasonality for October is always good. Beginning of October, look at this. Then we went up for, I don't know, all the way until January, really. Slight pullback in December, but this was 68, 62 days up, right? 93, October. So October is typically a good month. So yeah, let's just be patient. Let's wait for these next couple of days, weeks to play out, and don't sell at these levels. Please don't sell at these levels. Yeah. Quick update. Till next time.